I remember the day everything changed for me. My name is Priya, and I've always believed in hard work and standing up for what's right. Life as a single mom wasn't easy, but for my son Arav, I was willing to fight every battle. I worked as an assistant at a large real estate company. My boss, Mr. Kapoor, was a man who valued power above all else. He was intense, demanding, and frankly, had little respect for those he thought were beneath him. I kept my head down and worked tirelessly, even when he barked orders or dismissed my suggestions. I needed the job to pay Arav's school fees and keep the lights on at home. One afternoon, as I was preparing a report, I overheard Mr. Kapoor berating my colleague Neha in his office. His voice was loud and his words hurtful. He accused her of a mistake she hadn't made and threatened to fire her in front of everyone. Neha's face turned red, her eyes filled with tears, but she stayed silent. I don't know what came over me that day. Maybe it was Arav's little voice in my head reminding me to always be brave. I walked into Mr. Kapoor's office, my heart pounding. "Sir," I said, my voice trembling but firm, "Neha didn't make that mistake. It was a system error, and I've already fixed it." He looked at me, narrowing his eyes. "And who are you to speak up in my office? If you want to defend her, you can leave with her." I froze. His words hung in the air like a storm cloud. I had just put everything on the line. Still, I didn't back down. "You can't treat people like this, sir. We work hard for you, and we deserve respect." He fired me on the spot. Walking out of that office with my few belongings felt like defeat, but oddly, it also felt like freedom. At least I had stood up for what I believed in. That night, as I told Arav what had happened, he hugged me tightly and said, "You're my hero, Mom. Don't worry, we'll be okay." The following months were tough. I did odd jobs, catering, tutoring, and even sewing, to make ends meet. Slowly, I began to save. My landlord, Mr. Mehra, was a kind old man who always believed in me. When he decided to sell his property, a small apartment building, he offered it to me at a discount. He said, "Priya, I know you'll take good care of this place and the tenants." With all the strength I had, I took a loan and bought the building. It wasn't much, but it was mine. A year later, life began to settle. Arav was doing well in school, and I was finally earning a steady income as a landlord. Then one day, fate threw me a surprising twist. I was reviewing the lease agreements of new tenants when I saw a familiar name, Mr. Arjun Kapoor. At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but when I saw him standing at the front door of my building, suitcase in hand, I realized it wasn't. He looked different, tired, defeated, and frankly, not the intimidating man I once knew. His lavish lifestyle had come crashing down. He awkwardly nodded at me, clearly shocked to see me. "You're the landlord?" he asked, his voice unsure. "Yes," I said calmly, though my heart was racing. "Welcome to your new home." Over the next few months, I watched Mr. Kapoor struggle to adjust to his new reality. He was no longer the boss commanding a room, but a tenant trying to rebuild his life. Surprisingly, he began to change. He was kinder, more patient, and even helped some of the other tenants with small repairs and errands. One evening, as I was fixing a leaking faucet in one of the units, he approached me. "Priya, can I talk to you?" I nodded, unsure of what he would say. "I wanted to apologize," he began, "for the way I treated you and the others. I was wrong, and losing everything has taught me that. You're stronger than I ever gave you credit for." His words took me by surprise. I could see the sincerity in his eyes. "Thank you," I said softly. "It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. Life has a funny way of coming full circle. The man who once fired me was now the one seeking my forgiveness and respecting me for my strength. I didn't need his apology to move on, but it was a reminder that standing up for yourself and others is always worth it. Today, I run my little apartment building with pride, and Arav often helps me with the tenants. Life isn't perfect, but it's ours, and we're happy. And every now and then, when I see Mr. Kapoor tending to the garden or chatting with the neighbors, I'm reminded of how much people can change and how much we can grow when we believe in ourselves. As time passed, things slowly got better. I took even more pride in managing my building, and the people living there began to treat me like a friend. My interactions with the tenants became more comfortable, and I successfully earned their trust. Arav was a year older now, doing well in school, and had become more confident. Watching me, he knew that no matter what challenges came our way, we would face them together. He spent more time with me, helping with little repairs around the house, and doing well in his studies. He was my biggest inspiration. Mr. Kapoor had now become a permanent tenant of my building, and our relationship had changed. One day, when he was coming out of his work, he spoke to me again. "Priya," he said, "I know I hurt you a lot, and you've forgiven me, but I've come to realize that there are some things in life that really matter, things I never valued before. You taught me that nothing is gained by belittling others. Now I need to learn from you." I thanked him, because he was no longer the person I had once known. There was a deep truth and regret in his voice. One evening, we sat together in a small cafe in the neighborhood. Arav came home from school and mischievously asked Mr. Kapoor, "What are you going to do now, sir?" Mr. Kapoor smiled and looked at me, saying, "I'm thinking of starting over, and this time I'll make sure I have the right friends." We all laughed together. This moment was special for me because it felt like sometimes in life we're given a chance to make amends, and when we do, we should embrace it. A while later, Mr. Kapoor left his old habits behind and gradually became an integral part of our community. He worked hard to change his life, and now he helped us, just as we had once helped him. He had become a better and more responsible person. What we had now was the result of our hard work and belief. I had promised Arav that we would never give up, and he gave me another reason to prove that. The true lesson of life for me was that we should always fight for our dreams and our children, and that truth, love, and hard work are never wasted. We now had our own home, which I took care of myself, and everyone living in it was like family. When I worked in the morning sunlight, I realized that the struggles I had gone through were never in vain. Arav was growing up, and I knew that one day he would make me proud, just as I had made him proud. At the same time, Mr. Kapoor was ready to walk a new path in life. Our story was now moving toward a new beginning, and I always felt a sense of peace knowing that when you believe in yourself and walk the right path, everything can change. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends. 2. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. For more fascinating stories, have a nice day.